Hey, Sneak Peekers, I'm Sydney,
And I'm Allie.
and welcome back to the podcast. So, today we're going to be talking about our new favorite show to end off 2023 was definitely the Buccaneers on Apple TV.
It
Just
was so
such an iconic show. So Bridgerton, yet so not Bridgerton, which
Yeah, I
I
agree.
really appreciated because I felt like it was filling that gap of like the Regency era we were all
Yeah,
missing while Bridgerton's been away preparing for the next season. And I feel like
taking
this one,
years.
I
Yeah.
know it's years.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this show came in right when we needed it. So
Yes.
I think the question though, everyone's asking, everyone's wondering, Team Guy or Team Theo? Let's just start there. Let's get this over with.
Okay. Do you want to say yours first? What do you think?
I'm Team Theo.
Okay. Like I love him, but I'm team Guy. I
Okay.
love Guy. Yeah.
I knew this was gonna be how it
Yeah.
went, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
I
Okay.
could sense the tension of us arguing about this in like text messages the past like 2 months too.
Yes,
Like we were
exactly.
both like respectfully no.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like
yeah.
respectfully, I respect you and I know where you're coming from, but that's not the
Yeah,
case.
it's like I really value your opinion, but it's wrong.
Exactly, exactly. Well, should we give our reasoning?
Yeah.
Why do you
Yeah.
say Team Guy?
Okay, I'm team Guy just because I love Theo. Like he's not like someone like I dislike because it's kind of like Conrad and Jeremiah. Like, where like people are very conflicted on that. But like I genuinely like just like can't stand Jeremiah though. Like it's like I can't get Belly to end up with him. But on this, I'm like, okay, like Nan, like she'd have a perfect life with Theo. Theo's so nice, he's so kind, so accepting of her. But I can just tell guys the end game, okay? Like I think he is, or at least that's what they want me to think right now. And I don't know, they just seem like they're that cute invisible string, like, all roads lead back to them together. And like I think it's like Theo's the safe choice, but Guy's like the true love is what I see. And like he is so adorable to me. Like he's like there were some times I didn't like him. I really didn't trust him at first because I was like he's going to like
Mhm.
expose her secret about like her mom and all that. And then he never did. He kept it to himself. Yeah. And then he had his moments like the drunk like I was about to say text, but it wasn't a text. It was like a carrier pigeon letter or
Yeah.
whatever. But he shouldn't have done that, like because it
Drunk
ended up in
text.
Theo's hands. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like the man literally like we saw the ending. Like I'm sure we're gonna say like spoilers. Like he like ran off and helped save her sister, Nan's sister, which is like that's pretty iconic of him. And like you wouldn't do that unless you were really in love. So I'm team Guy. I love him. And this is so random, but in the Christmas episode, he was dressed like he was Gen Z. Okay, while everybody else
I'm
was
gonna bring that up later if we talked about
yes.
costumes. But I saw a TikTok and it was like, why is this man dressed like a Gap model?
No,
And I was
and I
like,
said that too. I was like, is this an Old Navy commercial? And like I was living for it though. Like he looked so good.
looks fine. Like,
Yeah, I was like, he
looks
looks so
fine.
boyfriend right now. But I was like, why does he look like he's in 2024? Everybody
And
else
we're
is in
here.
whatever time zone that is, like time frame that is, like it was so silly. But like, I don't know, like so that also showed that to me, he's like cute in regular times too. So I was like,
True.
he's
He's
transferable
timeless.
between both. Yeah. Okay, you want to give your reasoning for Theo?
Yeah. And see, I should have known that we would be doomed from the beginning when you did the initial description of not standing Jeremiah as a Jeremiah girly. I should
Oh
have
yes.
known. I should have known. It was never, but that's okay.
We're always on opposing sides with
I know.
these. Yeah,
We're,
yeah.
and I'm not even trying to take Theo as like the controversial side because I do kind of
Yeah,
based on the
not
TikTok
controversial at
before.
all.
Like I feel
Yeah,
like it's this show, it's been pretty 50-50.
yeah.
So I don't know. I think Guy just got off on the wrong foot for me. Like
Okay.
from the beginning, when he's being all sneaky, he's just overall a sneaky guy, which fine, we
Okay,
all
yeah, I can
have our
respect that.
sneaky moments.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, for example, like when he's trying to like come and hang out with like
Mhm.
all her friends that on the second episode, and they're like all hanging out, and he's like forcing himself into the occasion. I'm like, this is too awkward. for me. Like, I'm not, because I'm like, if I'm Nan, I don't want
Yeah.
to do all that. Like, that's too much.
Yeah,
It
that
doesn't,
is a lot. And it's pretty soon after they just met,
yeah.
like,
You
yeah.
just met this girl. And you're writing your best friend's fiance a love letter. And
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of hard to come back
I
from.
don't, I just feel like the thing that sticks up for me is like that's his best friend. And so if he's willing
Yeah.
to treat his best friend like that, how's he gonna treat you in the long term? Like
It's
that's,
not very girl's girl. I could see
yeah,
that,
you know what I mean?
Guys, guy.
Just,
Yeah.
he's just a little bit too sneaky for my taste. Where Theo, so loving, so now
Yeah.
Theo has his moments,
Yeah, he
but
had his moments.
he had his moments where I was like, okay, Theo, you gotta calm down. Like that one episode where he was on some like masculine trip, being like a woman has to,
Yes.
and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
suddenly I'm team guy. But don't
Yeah.
worry, Theo was just having his moment. He wrote
Yeah.
a letter that his best friend betrayed him on. And so
Yeah.
it all goes back to guy could become a cheater. Guy could
I
betray you.
could see that. We
Theo
could see the downfall of
does not
Guy, which
cheat.
I could totally see happening. But for now, I love him. But I am worried
And
for
in
his.
the last episode, I can't deny that like guy like truly is the one. Like he comes,
Yeah.
he saves the day, but then
Uh-huh.
on her wedding day, he's standing there being like, "You're my love, you're my world." And I get it, it's your last chance to say it, but that's your best friend marrying her. He's
It's so
probably
true.
waiting. He's waiting for you. And I'm sorry, if he's willing to do that with his best friend, I'm not trying to marry that man. That is too much drama. Too much.
That is so true. Like I
So
think I forget that he and Theo were best friends
they grew
before
up
because like
together.
yeah,
He
that
sees
part
her
I totally
Duchess
forgot.
as his second mother.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. And then like okay, there's people who are wondering if Theo knows like that Nan wanted to run off and like that she was marrying him to save Ginny. And I don't think he knows. Like I think he's completely in the dark about that.
I agree because
Yeah.
he he stood by her by too many things to let
Yeah.
her throw that away. Like
Yeah.
marriage was literally gonna end by the
Uh-huh.
Duchess, and he was like, no, 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 like I still want to marry her. Like
Yeah.
I think it's too like I don't think he would be like throwing it in, but maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like he thinks Nan chose him, like, in that he,
I
like,
agree.
yeah, that he was the one she wanted to be with. And I don't know. So I feel like that's bound to come out eventually that like Guy was the one she actually was gonna run off with, but she married Theo out of the convenience of saving Ginny, which isn't gonna feel good. So I feel like we could also see a little bit of a villain era from Theo. Like
I I think they have
yeah.
him, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Side note, I love how Theo, like his like actor's name is Guy, and then
It's
the
so
best
confusing.
friend is Guy. And they're
Yes.
talking about how on set one day, like Theo, like one of the caution people was like, okay, Guy, you like need to go get changed like fully. I'm like, they're not easy costumes to get in and out of.
Yeah.
And then so Theo, Guy,
Yeah.
goes and gets changed, and then he comes back and he's like, no, not you. Guy
Oh, that's so
character.
confusing. That's
I just
so
That
confusing.
just proves that, maybe they're not supposed to be against each other. Maybe they're one in the
It's just their
they all
one.
love
Yeah.
Nan and they all want what's best for Nan and her family. And maybe that's really what should be bringing us together.
Maybe. Yeah.
So
And do you think my roommates thought that since Guy left with Ginny, that maybe there will be a Ginny Guy storyline of like maybe, because we've seen Ginny do some shady stuff, you
yeah,
know, like in the end, I really wanted her to be okay because what was happening to her was terrible. But she had been a pretty bad sister up until then to Nan. So like some people are wondering, would she betray Nan that much and like go like fall in love with Guy, you know?
I could see it. And I
Yeah.
guess like if they're the only ones in South America, like too, it makes
Yeah.
sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It might just be like a we're like technically like we're the last two people on Earth type thing.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
exactly. Like there's no
Yeah.
one like us. Like let's just
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like that could be something too. And
Yeah.
okay, speaking of like all the Buccaneers, who do you think is your favorite of like the women?
Hmm. So I want to say Nan, but
Yeah.
I low-key think that Lizzie really won me over.
I love her. She is so amazing. Like I need more of a storyline from her.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
like
ending
you
when
yeah.
she goes stairs, see down, down.
Yes, I had chills.
Chill.
Chills. And Conchita gave him a look too.
Yeah.
Like she was staring like
Yeah.
daggers through him. Like it was
Knew.
crazy. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just love that that was like her final like coming
Yeah.
that. Like I just think that was so.
Yes, no, I need more of her storyline and like her storyline with her sister Mabel, right? Yeah, Mabel, when
Um,
like Mabel finally came clean to her and she was like, it's like, how could love ever be a wrong thing? Like, I was like, she's so sweet. Like, she needs more than just like the terrible, not like a bad storyline she had, but like the terrible
I,
energy around her storyline. Like, she needs
I
like a fun
know.
storyline next season because I actually love
Exactly.
her.
I
Yeah.
need her to like fall in love with someone like
Yes. Yeah.
it. She
And
deserves
I
love.
maybe Guy's super flirty, but I first when they had that scene, you know, when they were like eating I don't was it the Christmas episode or I
Yes.
don't even
Yeah.
remember. Yeah. And they were eating the cake batter. And me and my roommates were like, wait,
No,
you and Guy
I
kind of look cute
I was
together.
really gonna say that. Like
Yeah.
I ship
Yeah.
them so hard.
Right? Yeah.
Obviously love Nan and Theo, so I'm not
Yes.
shipping them.
No, so you're like trying to find Guy
So
somewhere.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm Lizzie. Like they
Yeah.
like I know that he's like a little bit sneaky, but
Yeah. It'd
also
be a great
like
storyline. Yeah.
this fits so well. Like I could just
I
see
see it.
I
I
know.
like I think I see it too because I think then I would be more team Nan and Theo if they found someone else for a guy that we could root for him with. Like I just want him to be with someone, you know?
They're
So I
both
think I get behind that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
both like going through something like so personal right now that it
Yeah.
like their support for one another would just be like unmatched. Like
Yes. Yeah,
so
and it was kind of random because like I don't remember them having like some huge friendship before that conversation, but she just felt like she could open up to him about something
yeah,
terrible that happened to her. Like it
no,
was so random, but I was like here for it, you know?
so ready. No,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, but I'd say probably Lizzie and then I love Nan. Nan's a great one.
Yeah.
And then Conchita would get on my nerves sometimes, but I actually really did like her. But like I could totally she almost seemed like she kind of had like a very like prevalent like royal thing we always hear that like once you marry into those families, it's not what you think it's gonna be, you know? And like so I could
Very
see that.
much like giving like Meghan Markle Loki. Like
Yes,
that
yeah, or
kind of
like
like
Princess
vibe.
Diana.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, like
100%.
yeah, which I think oh, that's another thing that I think like it differs from Bridgerton too. It's because it's the Americans going to England, you know? And
Yeah,
that was so interesting.
so
Like,
interesting.
yeah. And that's what I really liked about it too. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying, I didn't know that
Yeah.
this was a book before, or that this had a
Oh,
book
me
in their
neither.
TV show. And so, like, I was
Yes.
reading like today for this,
Yeah.
and then I saw
Yeah.
a girl talk about it, and like, apparently the author, I think her name's Edith Wharton, she like
Okay.
writes all about these like class differences, especially between
Oh,
Americans and the British. And I
oh,
don't know
cool.
like new versus old money,
Yeah.
and like how like
Yeah.
Americans have actual money, like
Yeah.
but then the
Yeah.
British had like their names
It's
with
like the title. Yeah.
exactly. So I found that super interesting. I think
That
they did
is really
that
interesting.
really well in the show and like showed that really well.
Yeah. And it was really cool to see like the American side of it because I feel like yeah, like with Bridgerton or like so many like period pieces,
Yeah.
we see the English side a lot. And
Yeah.
so like I had never really thought about the American side for a
Right?
show, you know, and it was really interesting. Like I hated his character, but the dad, Nan's dad,
Yeah.
like him at the English things and he just didn't fit in at all, you know, like or like even like her mom, you know, like she was
Oh,
like it was just totally different people,
so
you know.
different.
Yeah, which was really interesting. And speaking of the mom, that's what I have on my list. Who do you think is Nan's mom?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Everyone is saying, what's her name? Like,
The governess?
yes, the governess.
I've been team it's the governess since like episode 1.
Okay, I was gonna say everyone's saying that, but I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Because
I just my one evidence is I think it was when Theo and Nan have gotten engaged and they went back to the US.
ah,
The dad had this really weird look at the governess in one scene. It was like a blink and you'll miss it thing, but he was like
exactly.
almost like kind of like, oh, like there's history, like why are you
Yeah.
here type thing. And she was Nan's governess too, right? like
Yes.
other than Richard's governess also, which was weird. Like that's kind of too coincidental, but like
Like an interesting storyline. Like, oh,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, but I really yeah, I think it might be her, but then that makes me wonder why he would be freaking out at the end of the season when
That's
he's
what I was gonna say.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like the one thing they said was that there was money involved, like when they were getting rid
yeah,
of his mother.
yeah.
And then it's like it makes me think like if you paid her off, then why would she then work for you?
Right.
Like stay in Nan's life? Like if you're gonna pay
Yeah,
like money, like you wouldn't want her in your life, I feel like.
exactly.
And then two is like why is he freaking out at the end that Nan's mom's there? Like that's our final
Yeah,
scene.
yeah,
And so, because obviously her governess is going to be at the wedding, she's like
yeah,
with her. I mean, I don't think she ended up going because of the whole Richard drama,
yeah,
but
because it's the same woman, right? My roommates and I would get confused.
yes,
It was okay, yeah.
which is so weird because then I'm like, wait, so were you in America? Were you not in America?
Yeah, was she going back and forth? Like I think she was maybe Nan's like newer governess because
Yes,
I
like
think
when she was
Richard is a
older.
lot older, like
Yes,
than the girls are. So I guess
I
they could
agree.
line up. But I
Yeah,
don't yeah, and I'm trying to think like because he met this woman during the war was the story, like the father. And so I don't know. I'm trying to think if it would even line up, but like I don't know. I feel like the governess could be like a red herring too, you know, and
I
maybe want us to think that, but who knows? Maybe it's just a completely random woman. Oh,
one
what?
one person on TikTok said, I don't think I believe this, but it's kind of
Yeah.
out there, and I kind of love it for that. Is that guy's mother, the one that like apparently died, is
Yeah.
Nan's mother, which their argument is that she didn't actually die. And we know that guy is like mixed, so like totally makes
Yeah.
sense to be a white woman. And like they're saying that like then they would be like siblings, which and I think they're just Team Theo, but
Yeah. But
they
like that'd
like
be crazy.
are saying that that's who it is, and then that's why like they're like struggling for money because like the money that Richard Nan's father like paid, not Richard, oh my gosh,
Uh-huh.
whoever Nan's father's name is,
Yeah, the
paid
general or
paid
colonel,
for,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
that he paid them off, and then the money ran out, you know, and so this is what people are saying. Don't know how much I believe it, but
I
it
think it'd be
kind
crazy.
of a crazy theory to think
Like it
about.
gave me kind of goosebumps. Like, and
Right?
it'd be like some Game of Thrones stuff because
Yes,
it's like
yes.
they're like in love with each other, which is super weird. Or
Yeah,
like,
like half
yeah,
siblings. So I feel like
yeah,
for the tension alone, they won't do it. But
yeah. I'm sure unless they just like if like they're looking at the ratings and people are so hardcore Theo and they weren't planning on her ending up with Theo, maybe they're like, let's
well,
just make Guy a
to
sibling
make
and
it
then that
someone
gets rid of him
all
completely,
the
you
time.
know? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that would be like interesting. And again, 100% doubt it. But they
Yeah.
their governess is it Richard's mom? Yeah, I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah. No, I
It's
feel
the
like it's gonna
evidence.
be someone shocking because, like, it
Like,
has to be,
I
like,
feel like it has to be
yeah,
someone we already know. But I mean,
right?
it could be
Or
someone.
maybe it's like a mother of one of the other girls or
Yeah,
something weird like that, you know? Like, who knows? But I don't know, something weird. And I feel like we're gonna be like it was right in front of us this whole time.
yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah,
Like, we're not
yeah,
gonna have guessed it, but it's gonna be like totally like, oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be some person they mentioned once, and then we're like,
exactly.
"Are you kidding me?" Yeah,
But
but yeah, that one I really want to know. But I was team governess for a while, but now it almost seems like it just
uh,
wouldn't work.
right. But
But
like also, there's some weird things going on with that lady. Like there's
she's
something going
weird. Like the storyline with Richard, I did not like. And then they like when he like came clean to his real mother, like you know, like his like birth mother, who was like awful
on.
character by the way, but like she was like, and she like did not. They did like she didn't seem to give like a second thought to like what he confessed. I was like, man, why'd they even include that
Really
storyline?
like with
You know?
that. Like
Yeah, yeah, it was never mentioned again, which I
yeah.
don't know, that was odd. I couldn't tell the whole season if that was like a romantic thing or if that was like a maternal thing until he finally like said something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just like, okay.
it
Well,
was icky. Yeah.
it was a lot. I was like, okay.
I was like, ugh. Yeah. And I think Conchita's like completely in the dark about that. I think she
Yeah.
did not catch on to that.
Not
Yeah.
one bit.
Yeah, she's just enjoying her life for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
And then speaking of them, like, because didn't it leave off where Richard was gonna like be all in on like Conchita and their children and kind of like renounce the whole Duke thing, kind of like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. But
Ah,
then apparently all of a sudden their father's dying, so he has to take
yeah.
over,
I
which I think it might be a lie. I don't know if the dad's actually dying.
I don't know if he's dying. I feel like that might have
Yeah,
been more like Hail Mary, like let's see what's next.
yeah,
But also like Conchita did like admit that like her family doesn't have money. Like
yeah, and
they
they're
didn't
gonna
show up
need
for money
something.
and there's not. So I do think
Yeah,
that, unfortunately Conchita is going to be stuck in this situation
yeah,
like, a bit longer. And then
yeah,
she's gonna have to make the decision next season. Is it worth all this? Because now
yeah,
Richard's gonna be like head of the household if like he's taking over. So
yeah, and they like
interesting to see that dynamic. Like,
yeah, and if he's head of the household, it could kind of be like Anthony Bridgerton, you know? Like,
yeah,
I mean, he could see the light of his ways and like, you know, because I feel like that was like season 2 of Bridgerton. He was
yeah,
kind of become more, I don't know, like less uptight. So
yes,
maybe it'd work out. I don't know.
yeah,
But his parents are so awful though, to where I feel like it'll be a journey to
yeah.
get to that.
Going to be,
Yeah.
especially the mother.
Yeah. She is so awful. And but props to the casting directors because she looks like the women in portraits when you like see like, you know, all those women like kind of looks the same in like the way they're
Yeah,
painted. She
yeah.
looks like that woman if you
Just
like
like,
took her out of a painting.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of that family, do you think
Yeah.
Sarah will become a Buccaneer herself?
Yes, I wanted to talk about this. I think she is because I was watching a bunch of the interviews like on like BuzzFeed or like Cosmopolitan, all those things. And she's when they like take the guys from the show away,
Yeah,
she's still in like the main Buccaneer interviews with all the
yeah,
girls. So I
yeah.
feel like she's gonna slowly kind of become one, you know?
I could.
Um, yeah, which like I think she was an interesting character. Like at first I really disliked her, and then you could tell like she was kind of just like the product of her family though, and like super I feel like she was really upset from her family, you know? And then you started to see like better sides of her as it kept going. So like I feel like there's a lot of room for her to become a really like beloved character if they give her the time to.
I agree, and especially with
Yeah.
her and Mabel, like, making their
Yeah.
way together, it's like
Yeah.
obviously, I don't think on the surface, unfortunately, they can be together, but I
Yeah.
think therefore that opens up a spot for Honor
Yeah.
to, like, be brought on with, like, everyone and, like,
Yeah, and kind of
constant.
be a more
So,
main Buccaneer girl. Yeah, I
exactly.
could see that. And then I think because Mabel ended the fake engagement with that guy, right? I don't even remember his name, but like the dude who was always hanging around. Yeah, that's done. And so I wonder if like that's gonna come into the storyline too. Like people are gonna be
Right.
like, why'd you break off that engagement? And then people are
Uh,
gonna get more, you know, suspicious, you know? Like,
and be like questioning, especially the
yeah.
mother. Mother
Yeah,
is
the mom.
not supportive.
Yeah, and Lizzie is. So like I can see a big like family
A little,
divide
yeah.
coming. Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think Mabel would ever go back to the States. I think Mabel
Um,
is happy in England.
but I'm
Yeah.
wondering if her mother will try to bring her back to America.
Yeah.
It's obviously not working. So,
Yeah.
but also, she found out about Mabel in America through
Yeah.
those past hookups. So who knows?
Yeah.
Like maybe England's making her more traditional. So I'm
Yeah. There's a lot I feel like with Mabel they can explore next season too.
yeah.
And Honoria in that storyline also.
Also,
Um
Josie is like the perfect like actor.
Yes.
Like it's
Yes, she's so cool.
perfect.
Yeah.
I
No,
love
she's
her.
so cool. And also she's got like hair goals. Like I see her hair and I'm like, I need to know the routine.
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
so
so good.
perfect. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed.
Yes. And speaking of like the style, their outfits this season, oh my God, I'm so obsessed. I feel like at first I really didn't like Nan's in the first couple episodes.
Mm.
And then her style once she was becoming like the Duchess was
It's
so
long.
good. Like she had like this periwinkle dress at some big party they had. I don't even remember what the party was, but
Yeah.
I was obsessed with it. Like I who do you think had the best style of the Buccaneers?
Ooh, of the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Low-key Ginny was eating.
Jenny,
Like
yeah, she was killing
the
every outfit she had.
red wine dress. I was like,
Yes.
it
It was
was
really Evermore. I kind of remember that one. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, she was stunning. She knew where to
Yes.
put
Did
up.
you know she's Suki Waterhouse's sister? I
Yes,
I
which
every time I
floored
saw
me.
her, I'd be like, what is Suki Waterhouse doing here? And then I didn't ever make the connection. Like
Yeah,
I'd have to do a double take and then I saw their sisters.
yeah.
Like she's
No,
her
it was
younger
the
sister, I
first
think.
episode I
Yeah.
watched. I was like, because like Apple TV, it's like hard to see
Yeah.
the intro.
Yeah.
Thing. But so I'm watching the intro and it's like Waterhouse, and I was like,
Yes. I was like, wait, hold up.
well,
Is it
hold a minute.
Suki
And
Yeah.
so then I did my
Yeah.
little Wikipedia, like,
Yeah. I
and
was mind blown.
mind blown.
Yeah.
Totally.
I Yes, I couldn't believe it. And then it like started to make so much sense. Like I've seen her TikToks and stuff, and like she's got such Suki Waterhouse energy
Oh,
kind
good.
of her own. So I was like, okay, this makes so much sense while I was seeing the resemblance.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, I was gonna ask, do you think that Richard and Conchita are gonna like make it, or do you think they're gonna have a bunch of breakups and makeups, or do you think they're gonna have to go their separate ways?
See, and I think it really depends on kind of like where we go in terms of like, is he taking over the household? Because if he's taking over
Yeah,
the household, then like I can totally see it. But
yeah,
I don't know.
right. Yeah, I have no clue.
That was it.
Um,
What do you think?
I think they'll make it, but I think it's gonna be a rough road ahead. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a couple breakups, and then I'm sure they're gonna have more children too, which
Yeah.
will be even more complicated. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we come back next season and they've like had a time jump and like they have another baby on the way or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. We talked about we need more Lizzie, the potential ships. Let's see. I think we talked about Guy and Lizzie,
Yeah.
Honoria and Mabel. I feel like they will introduce somebody else though to maybe get in between Honoria and Mabel.
I do.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
maybe, or because I feel like Mabel already has already like established another connection with someone.
Yeah.
And I could see Mabel being forced back to the US, and then
Yeah.
that kind of picks back up and Orniath like finds out about it.
Yeah.
That I don't
Or
know.
I could see like their family, like her parents jumping in and they're trying to like, set her up, like the whole
Yes.
courting thing. And then that's a big story. Like it's like, is Honoria actually having to marry someone like for the
Yeah.
family, especially since the dad's dying, they probably want to make sure the family's secure. So I could see that.
I guess it's
Um,
a trip there.
yeah, yeah. And then as for other ships, I feel like I don't know. I hadn't ever thought about it, but I feel like something could happen between Guy and Ginny, which would be another big divide between Ginny and Nan. You know?
That
Yeah,
could definitely be something that we like see
yeah,
in upcoming season.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I think that can cause issues. The Duke being like, "Why are you so upset about that? Like, isn't that a good thing?"
Yes, yeah. And do
They're
you think like
like,
what were your thoughts on Ginny, just like as a whole?
I really do have a love-hate relationship with her. I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
I understand where she's coming from, and like she's a
Mhm.
really cool character, but I think for most of the time I just want to slap her. And I was like,
Yes.
bro, get a
Yeah.
hint. The whole episode where it's like she gets shot down by C down and he's with Liz,
Yes.
and like obviously that horrible
And
situation
then
happened.
the way she replied to Lizzie when Lizzie came clean
Yes.
about it was not good at all.
No, not
Yeah.
a girl's girl, and I
Yeah.
like girls, and she's not a
Yes.
girl.
She's not. I feel like we're gonna see her become one. I feel like she's gonna kind of have like the Steve
I think
Harrington
this was her
effect.
wake-up call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to get it together.
Yeah. I feel like she's gonna have like a Steve Harrington effect where like you hated
Yeah.
him in season one, but like as it keeps going, like you're like a ride or die for him. So I feel
Yeah.
like that might happen.
Yeah.
But I did as Cedon started showing like his true colors though, I really did like feel for Ginny and I like wanted her to get out of it. So like when Nan, yes, like I hate Cedon. Like
Yeah.
he needs to like fall off that cliff like, that they live on. Yeah.
I love that line you wrote. I absolutely hate you down. I hope he falls off the cliff. The castle is on. Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. That's like the only way the writers can get rid of him in my head. I want Lizzie to just like launch him off the cliff or something crazy.
I like
Yeah.
him. but I'm also so interested to see what happens next. Is he gonna track
Yes.
her down? Is he gonna
Yeah.
pretend like she no longer exists? But he has a child,
Right.
and they were married.
Yes. Yeah. Like
I'm
he's
like,
gonna go after her, I think, which is gonna
right?
be really scary. And like when
Here.
Nan shut the carriage door, which was such a plot twist because we all thought Nan was going with her, you know, like, and then Long Live started playing. I like me and my roommates were on our couch, like literally like standing on the couch, like
Yeah.
jumping up and down, like so
Oh,
excited that
my
she was
mom and
getting
I,
away.
we were
Yeah.
so shook by that episode that the
Yes.
next night we watched it again because we're like,
Yes, I
we
did it
have to
too.
see how this unfolds. Like,
Yeah.
I need a replay of how
Yeah.
this comes out because it was
Yeah,
crazy.
no, it was so, that song was so perfect too with a carriage and like and when C Down realizes what happens and he's like running after him and they can't catch him, it was so crazy. Like
So,
and then with the
and then it ends,
mom,
the
yeah,
mom is like
one
the
daughter's
dad.
sacrifice for another one's freedom, like all that was insane. Like I
So
had full chills and I had to watch it again too. Like I it was all I thought about for like a day.
one thing I need to ask you about
Yeah.
is what do you think about the Duchess and the mom's final scene together? I think
That was
that was crazy.
no, it was giving me chills because the way they overlaid it over all the stuff we've been talking about, like the running, Nan walking down the aisle, all the girls staring Seaton down, like it was just like so amazing. Like I
Yeah.
was like, they're on such opposing sides, you know, and like Nan's mom clearly thought she knew everything that was going on, but
Yeah.
Nan's mom was completely in the dark, is what we found out, and then the
Nothing.
Duchess knew everything, and so like it was, and the Duchess was fully okay with Nan marrying
Yeah.
the Duke knowing she doesn't love the Duke, which is so crazy to me. Like, I don't know how I feel about her. Like
I
the
know.
Duchess. At first I loved
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
At first I was like, oh yeah, like love her.
Yeah.
But she's just the classic English.
For
Her
the
role,
institution. Yeah.
like that's the number one thing. And like
Yeah.
I gotta respect it. But
Yeah.
I was like, and then when
Yeah.
they reveal that she like that the other mother was like completely wrong.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was
she
and
all
yeah.
she was there for was to protect Theo. She was like, I don't want him to be an embarrassment.
Yeah.
The other one's like, you know that's not what Nan's gonna do. And
Yes.
uh and it just really proves like how well does Nan's mother like know her.
Right? It was
But
so interesting. And I love Nan's like
I do
adopted mother though too. Like she's such a
too.
good character.
She is so
And
amazing. One of my favorite
yeah,
characters of the show. And I
she
mean
was
the
so
actor,
awesome.
I love
Yeah.
her. I love her in every role she does.
Yeah, what else is she in? Because she looked so familiar and I couldn't
She's
figure it
in
out.
Good Girls.
Oh,
Good
I've
show.
seen a couple clips
So
from that
good.
show. That might be it. Yeah, okay.
No, and some
Yeah.
other things, but that was her most recent big role.
Yes.
So
Okay, then I have one more question that's a
yeah,
controversial one. I think I made it after I sent you the list. Bridgerton or the Buccaneers? Do you have one you'd choose between?
the Buccaneers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Bridgerton, but Bridgerton,
Yeah.
I think what Bridgerton is lacking is just this whole other complexity of
Yeah.
like divide. Because in Bridgerton, like
Yeah.
they're all the same class. So it's like
Yes.
what they're really missing here, I find, is like we have these outsiders versus the
Yeah.
insiders. And I think that adds like a whole nother level that we just don't get. And like Bridgerton's
Yeah.
like first season had like that love triangle
Yeah.
that was very similar to like the king versus of like I think it was like the Prince of Austria or something
Yeah.
is the Duke, but like it never really developed. Whereas I
Yeah.
feel this one really allowed us to fall in love with the characters before making a decision about
Mhm.
who she was gonna end up with because now she's with Theo. Although is she even like gonna be with Theo till the end? I don't even know.
Yeah.
But like whereas Bridgerton, where it kind of gets me is that I never get that moment of like, will they, won't they?
Yeah.
So it's just like the story's moving forward.
Yeah, it's always like a chapter, you know? And like
Yeah.
I think with Bridgerton, you have like I really personally didn't love the first season of Bridgerton. I was kind of like,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't my favorite. I loved the second though. And
Second,
then the third, yeah, amazing, iconic. Like I just rewatched it too.
yeah.
And the third season, you know, is going to be with Colin and Penelope. And then who knows which sibling's going to be next after that. So like I feel like it's a matter of if you're kind of like rooting for that sibling or that character that's
Yeah.
the focus of that season too, you know, which I
Yeah.
feel like makes it more difficult to be like that's the show because like the Buccaneers you're seeing all the different characters and they're really complex stories at once, you know,
Yeah.
where I feel like Bridgerton really like dives in on just two characters each season, and
Yeah.
then you have the other like A or B and C storylines but not as much.
Yeah.
So, and then like the class thing, like you were talking, I feel like in Bridgerton, we only really see that when we watch like Eloise's story,
Yeah.
like when she goes to see like the other,
True.
like, you know,
True.
like the guy who works at like the paper mill or something, like that's like the only like other class we really like see like the divide, I think. Which I'm dying for her season. Like I want her season so bad. She was one of my favorites. But yeah, I would say the Buccaneers also.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Well, we started this off talking about Bridgerton. We're ending
Yes.
with voting for the Buccaneers. I think this is a great place to end it. But let us
Yes.
know your thoughts at Sneak Peek TV on Instagram because we would love to get all the dirty goss on this.
Yes. And we need people to talk about this show so we get even more
Yeah,
seasons.
exactly.
Yeah.
We need to keep the discourse going. But
Yes.
no, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you later, Sneak Peekers.
Bye.